Let me be so for real. I need this reminder just as bad, okay? Because Joce needs to hop on this hydration station with you. I am behind. I am not properly hydrated today, and I'm actually filming near the end of my day. It's a shame. Girl, drink your water. And if you're having alcohol, you know the drill. It's 2 sips because one's for me. Cheers. We got some dirty little cheaters today. These people are exposing when and how they found out their partner was cheating. Y'all know what I say? Let's say it all together. If you can't stay loyal, stay single. Words to live by. In 2017, I took my significant other to a luxury hotel in Miami, and as usual, I was paying for everything. After a day, I had to go to the hospital. I was in the ICU, literally fighting for my life. Oh my gosh. The day I was to be discharged, he tried to convince the entire staff I needed to stay longer. 5 years later, I found out why. I found photos he had hidden of him and another woman sitting in the exact same chairs at the beach where we always sat. There were a number of intimate photos as well. Noodles. Naked photos. I can't say certain words on YouTube. I don't know what will get flagged. He looked so happy with her. I also discovered a picture on my phone from the hotel security camera of him bringing roses into the hotel for her. Like, was he doing this while you were in the hospital on this trip? Was he seeing her and bringing roses to her? Because Lord, that's a whole other level of anger that I'm gonna feel. He never brought me anything while I was in the hospital. I'm quite sure he was pretending to be some kind of very financially well-off person as he took her to Chanel, Bulgari, Tiffany's, and more. He apparently has continued to contact this woman, and I found out much later that he had tried to fly to see her just days after we got back. I'm a pretty tough cookie, but I have never felt such pain and betrayal. You gotta be some type of human to be that low and to not care about another human in a time where they're fighting for their life. Wow. I found out my partner was cheating on me back when Facebook was still a new phenomenon and people didn't quite understand how it worked at the time. I literally remember when Facebook came out. It was like, oh, are you gonna go to Facebook? It was after MySpace for my generation. And then when Instagram, oh my God, just mind-blowing things. Snapchat? I was 16 years old. Yep. And my boyfriend broke up with me that summer. A few weeks later, he decided that he made a mistake and we got back together. But by that time, he had gotten back together with his ex and had chosen not to break up with her before returning to me. He figured he could make a new Facebook profile in which to be in a relationship with her and add all the same friends from the old one so that it looked legitimate. He didn't realize that 1, our mutual friends would tell me, and 2, I could then just go directly to his profile and see that. Before confronting him though, I definitely reached out to her because I didn't want her to find out suddenly one day and be hurt. I didn't blame her for it. He was the one in the wrong and she was appreciative. She and I both broke up with him and he ended up at the same time. Oh no, at the time. Alone. Oh, I thought it was at the same time. I thought you guys like just broke up with him at the exact same time because that would have been epic. Good old Facebook. That really was mind-blowing. I remember that time very well. I always had my suspicion that my ex was cheating on me with multiple women, but one day I got home, I was living most of the time with him, and there was a folded piece of paper on the bed on my side. I opened it to see what it was. It was a note from his girlfriend of 10 years. We had been dating 2 years at that point. She had written him a letter when he broke up with her because she refused to help pay his rent that month. The letter let me know everything. She helped with his bills. They only saw each other every 2 weeks, and they started dating when she was very young and he was not so young. I started piecing things together over the past 2 years. He refused to come to, I don't know how to say that, Yosemite? On a trip because his dad couldn't be left alone was actually code for it was his girlfriend's birthday weekend. When we needed stuff from the grocery store, we would go to one 2 miles away instead of the one a block from his place because she worked there. Oh my God. It's honestly, there's actually a documentary about it, about who the F did I marry? Who the F did I date? Where all this truth comes out and you're sitting there like piecing together all these things over the years that might have raised like a little like moment, and now it's all making sense and you're like, this person that I was in love with had a totally secret life this whole time. Man, that'll mess you up. My husband cheated with at the least 3 other women over at least 4 years, starting even before we got married. And he still married you. Isn't that nice? We worked in other countries a lot, so our relationship was long distance for several months at a time, but I thought everything was dandy until his coworkers started reaching out to me to tell me what the hell he was doing. It's been a process. That will be a process because your husband was cheating on you for years with multiple people. That'll do some damage. My heart feels so strongly for anyone who's been cheated on. It's just devastating. We were together for 6 years when I found out. I decided last year to go back to school for nursing. I was visiting his place and in a different room studying for finals and overheard him talking on the phone while watching TV. He was definitely wine drunk. Oh, I wish I was wine drunk. I went to sit next to him and could hear a female voice. He's doing all this while you're in the other room visiting him? Is this man stupid? He quickly ended the call, and when I asked who he was talking to, he said it was his guy friend. The next week, the end of March, was his 50th birthday. Okay, here I was thinking we were in college or something. No. Okay. Was his 50th birthday and I got him a nice bottle of whiskey knowing he'd get drunk and pass out. You had a plan. I took his phone and saw all the girls he was messaging on Facebook. It was legit gross. He'd messaged different girls asking them to show him their boobies like he was a frickin' 12-year-old. A couple of days later, I cleaned out all my stuff from his place and sent him a pic of one of the messages. That's when he blamed me and said it was my fault since I wasn't giving him enough attention or spending time with him. I hate that. Nothing worse than their excuse. Just being like, oh,
you don't give me enough attention.
If I don't give you enough attention and you're not receiving the love from me that you need or that you deserve, leave. Bye-bye. See ya. You don't have to cheat. Every time I do a cheater video, I go on rants. This is not good for my mental health because I'm happy today. My now ex handed me his phone while he was driving and asked me to turn on Spotify. His apps were arranged in alphabetical order, so I couldn't help but notice the Tinder flame next to Spotify. We met on Bumble. I wasn't on Tinder, but he was, and when we decided to make things official, we deleted our dating apps together, so I knew Tinder being on his phone meant he used it recently. Oh my god. I kept my composure and kept saying, Spotify is taking forever to open, while I went through all the messages he had sent to these women in the last 11 months. The kicker, I discovered this 4 days after my dad passed away. No. And saw the dates he was messaging women things like, hey sexy, wanna be friends with benefits? Ew. It was literally the same message to every girl. He was messaging them on Christmas Eve and day, and during the week my dad was in hospice. He was supposed to be my support, but was messaging girls hoping to hook up with them while I was sitting next to my dying father. I had also allowed him to move in with me rent-free because his business was struggling. It's always the ones that you treat well and you do things for and you love very much. I'm gonna get angry. This would be hard on any time, during any time. It would be awful, but especially to see the messages during a time that is a literal nightmare for you and your heart is breaking into a million pieces. So in college, I met this guy at an orientation activity. We were into each other, but I let him know that I wanted an open relationship only while I was at school. He very much did not want monogamy. We started dating and I was surprised he never dated anyone else. I went home for Christmas and he went radio silent. When I came back, he was cagey. It took a few weeks, but I finally told him that he really wanted an exclusive girlfriend committed only to him and that he'd connected with a high school crush over vacation and was dating her. Okay, I think I meant to say, but he finally told me, okay, we agreed to be just friends. Fast forward a few weeks and I'm talking with a mutual college friend who burst out that she was dating him, that it was a long time coming after a semester of flirting and how he wanted to wait to tell people, but she was so happy she needed to tell someone. I was confused. Later, I asked him about his girlfriend back home and he told me that it didn't work out. actually, and would I like to hook up that weekend? He's lying to both of you. It took me a while to, it's just messy. When people are like open relationship, only when I'm at school, but when I come back home, I'm gonna reconnect with you. I feel like that is just messy. That can't ever end well, right? Does it end well? I don't know. I've never done something like that. Years ago, my cousin was dating this girl for around 6 years, and we all liked her. So he called her house one day to take her out to find out that her husband picked up the phone. He had no idea she was married. You wanna know what I don't know? What is the plan there? 6 years. That's a lot of balancing 2 different relationships for 6 years. Sociopath. My boyfriend asked for us to do therapy. I didn't really understand why. 4 months into it, I found out he cheated on me. I broke up with him immediately. He probably felt guilty, probably felt some guilt and was like, okay, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna go to therapy in his head because he didn't want to tell you, obviously. And then the truth came out in therapy. Well, at least you have a therapist now for all the damage that he did to you. Girl, let's get through this together. Screw this guy. Now I know the truth. Let's keep working together because I'm gonna need your help. When I went through a very similar, hard, difficult time, I wish I went to therapy. There was no way I could afford it at that time in my life, but I definitely wish I did therapy. Instead, I just stayed single for a long time. A few years ago, I'd been dating my ex for about 8 months, and the entire time I was extremely suspicious of one of her friends. But every time I brought up that I felt like the friend definitely had a thing for her, she told me she was nothing more than a friend. Then one night, I got the "we should just be friends" text from her. Okay, sure. Whatever. The relationship was going downhill anyway. A few days later, her bio had changed to a date a week before we had broken up. The friend had the same date in her bio. Oh my God, that was like their anniversary date. They had been dating for at least a week and they were messing around for who knows how long before she had the guts to leave me. She tried to hit me up a year later to apologize and say she regrets what she did. I simply told her that was her problem, not mine. We haven't spoken since, as you should. You snooze, you friggin' lose. I want to know, because everyone has had different experiences. Maybe you are the cheater. Maybe you've been cheated on. The saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. Do you believe that? Or do you believe that people can grow and change and you would forgive a cheater if they cheated on you in hopes that they wouldn't do it again? See, I am just not one of those people. I can't look past it. And maybe that's just me and maybe that's just my heart. It won't happen. Absolutely not. If you can do that to me once, there is absolutely no reason why you wouldn't do it to me again. That is my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But I want to know your opinion because I feel like everyone has a different experience with this. So let me know. I'm out of here though, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. And if you can't stay loyal, stay single.